So that's it. So I guess, Jason, we're up for questions, and maybe the first question is, what are those dimensions again? 1200 by 628. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
So it's well, because as you're doing it, I was working on the image, and I'm like, that just seems way too wide. That doesn't make sense. So then I just Googled image dimensions for offer, and yeah, it said 1200 by 628. So I was like, poor guy. But yeah. So I want everyone to know too that this just to prove you that this wasn't recorded. This is as new a strategy as you can get, and I hope you guys love it. Now remember, you do have the recordings. They're going to be available in the next 24 hours, plus these downloads. So now, Mike, we did schedule this call for 2 hours, so right now we've got 20 minutes to start answering questions. So I'm thinking I'm going to ask you, I know you're a busy man, do you think we could maybe extend that another half hour so we could try to get about an hour's worth of
Oh,
Q&A?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'll stick around for as long as we need.
All right, cool. So we do have tons of questions, and again, I ask everyone to please be patient with us. Don't repeat your questions. It's going to really cause some confusion. We're going to try our best. If things aren't answered, we will, try to get back to you. So let me just go to the top, and I'm assuming, Rich, on the back end, if you found that they were answered, you changed the flags. I just want to make sure that we are cool on that, so I'm not asking repeat questions. So Facebook no longer cares that you're sending them directly to Amazon, meaning no landing page needed. That's from Janaea.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I don't think they ever cared about that, really. The offers are set up. They're specifically set up to send people to an online store. So yeah, they don't care, and they're getting paid for it, so they like it a lot.
And a lot of people. So, Mike, how long this specific strategy have you known about? This specific one where Amazon with the unique coupon codes, right? Sorry, not Amazon, Facebook, right in the.
For not even a full month, about the one-time codes.
So, because a lot of people are asking quite a few questions, which way is more effective? So I'm assuming that you haven't been able to test everything out because they're wondering, versus 20% versus 50% versus 75%.
Yeah, so here's the good thing about this is that the one-time coupon code part I've only had within a month here, but everything else that we've talked about as far as using the storefront search URL and using just regular group coupon codes out there, I've been using those, and what I have found is that for launching a product or just trying to really get one up in the rankings, 75% or higher gets the most offer takes. As soon as you get below 75%, you're going to get a much lower number of people clicking on it. I haven't tested all those out, but I have tested that offers between 30 and 50%, when you're just trying to maintain rankings, those definitely do work. You don't really need a lot of people buying your product using that specific URL and using that specific offer. You don't need a lot every day doing it to maintain rank. Just a couple of sales a day that way. It doesn't have to be even every day. Those really help, and so you don't have to. Those offers at 30 to 50 help for just maintaining. 75 or above for like a big launcher to really move up in the rankings.
It's something that's just coming to me too. Like, if people are sitting here, I'm prophesizing right now that people are just going to assume keywords that they want to use. So, something that I really want to make sure everyone do, and especially when testing this, make sure you do, if you're running your auto campaigns and your sponsored ads, make sure to sort those your sponsored ads search result terms, the search term report that you can export in Seller Central, and look for the words that have high amount of sales and low ACOS, and then start searching to see where you're ranking. And what I would do is I would look for the keywords that are getting you good sales and your organic ranking is on like page 2, and run a test on this and just see about getting yourself from page 2 to page 1 and watch the difference that happens. The reason I'm saying this is because a gentleman, and it's not flagged, and because I did answer it and I said, well, it depends on the keyword. He said, well, oftentimes ranking for keywords doesn't get you any sales, and that's why you want to make sure you're not just guessing at the keywords for this strategy, that you're really understanding what are the keywords that are getting me sales with sponsored ads, and that's, more or less speaking to you as to what the best converting words are that you want to be going for that are money makers. So use that data and try this strategy. And I'm very confident. I'm actually really excited, because what happens is when you create these coupon codes, I did everything on the fly just now, so I know I got like 3 more hours I have to wait before I can reactivate my campaign, because I went through, did everything exactly right, have it set up. It took the 15 minutes to approve it. I tested it, everything's working, and then I deactivated it until my actual coupons are ready. But make sure you're really focused on doing good keywords. Don't just guess at it, because you're right, you might waste a lot of time ranking for a keyword that won't even get you sales. I just wanted to add that in there, Mike. Sorry.
Great point, Jason. Absolutely.
This one might make sense to you, I hope, for you. Sylvia, I think it is, said, should I put on Amazon a full price without discount? As you taught, always put higher price and give discount. Example, put original price $20, sale $15 on Amazon. So should I give discount on top of that? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and so I think it makes sense. So I think what people do this a lot. As a matter of fact, Amazon does this. So you have the normal price for the product, and then you have your sales price. And I think 90% of us FBA sellers on Amazon are always running a sale price. That way you have the the regular price is kind of slashed out, and then there's a cheaper sales price, and it looks like you have 30-50% sale going all the time. So the question, I believe, was when you create this offer, then do you tell people it's like 90% off of that top price, the one that you actually never sell it at, or off of your sale price? I actually take it off of what the sale price is. I want to be legitimate. So if someone doesn't use the coupon and they're paying $50 for it, and then if I'm giving them 90% off coupon, I would tell them if they're paying $5, yeah, $5 for it, that'd be 90% off. I take it off the sale price. I want it to be authentic, where it's the actual price that they're paying without the coupon. That's where I would say on my ad that's the percentage they get off.
That makes sense, yeah. So so you kind of answered this, but I want to make sure we got it this way. How many different discount percentages have you tried on Facebook's, and what did you find worked best?
Yeah, like I said, it's 75 or higher, but the important thing here is, and I want to stress this, that nothing we ever teach is a one-size-fits-all. If you have a high-value product, then you don't have to go as big to get it working. If you have a product that sells for $70, people are going to be willing to, they'll be really happy with a 75% off coupon. If you have a product that sells for $15, you may need to go 90% off. There's not one answer or two there. It's going to depend on the value perceived by your customers for your product.
Cool. So something to even think about too, like you can create, a campaign, and then underneath that, you can create different campaigns, I guess, that you'll run and then see which one works better. So you can create a 50% and a 75 and see which one works, right?
Absolutely. I would be testing all the time. Until you really find out what works for you, there's no reason you can't create multiple campaigns and run them at the same time.
So is the email Facebook sends a standard, or can you amend this and alter it?
Nope, it's standard, and what it's going to include is your product image, the title for the product, and also the title for the offer, and also the description for the offer. You cannot change anything else in there. If you want to include anything in there, just make sure that you have it in the title or the description. But yeah, you can't amend it. And one thing I want to make clear also is we're not getting these email addresses. Facebook is not going to share the email address that you're getting. But you know what? That's okay. These offers work so well and they're so affordable that I don't really care so much anymore as I used to about having a big launch list of emails. I know that anytime I can go out there and target customers and give them an offer without knowing what their email address is.
Yeah, and I think what's important to mention about that is there's always different strategies you're doing, and you're supposed to be using things in conjunction with each other. For example, you don't just do lightning deals; you use all of them, and so it's this in combination with everything else. So that's a great point. So David's next question here is, does the bones of the campaign stay active for future use on the same product? And if you use 200 of the 300 unique coupons, can you come back the next month and use the remaining ones?
It completely depends upon how you set up your promotion inside of Seller Central. You create a beginning and end date for that promotion, and as long as it's within that beginning and end date, then all those coupon codes are active, and those single-use coupon codes are all still active, and you can continue to create more single-use coupon codes.
Cool. So I'm assuming you've only tested this in the USA. You haven't tried this with Amazon.uk or anything?
No, so I have not done the one-time use coupon codes over there. I have done offers over there, and they work very well over there too. I'm excited to go and try this out over there, but we just haven't had any focus on Europe as much lately, so it'll be the next thing that I'm testing.
So Linda has a question here, which I guess why she's asking it. So I uncovered this week that it looks like greater than 20 buyers of my discounted products are selling them on eBay. Won't this type of offer just increase the number of others selling your product, including coming back and selling on our buy box on Amazon?
Well, that is always a concern anytime you're giving a deep discount on a product. So, I don't think you want to go out there and necessarily sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds if you have that concern. But I'll say two things about it. One, if you're targeting the right people by targeting customers that are lookalikes of your existing customers, or targeting people that are interested in your niche and your product already, most likely they're going to want to keep that product themselves, and we're already limiting it, so trying to keep them where they only get one. So their chances are they're not going to want to go out there and sell the product. That's why we put those controls in place, the max quantity, the one per customer, to make sure that one person doesn't buy more than what you want them to. That's really when I see people buying or reselling the products on eBay or somewhere else. Now, the second part I was going to mention is that, well, if they're selling the product on eBay, then maybe you should be on eBay selling it for at a discount too. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because anyone selling it on a different marketplace has to buy it from someone, and you're that someone. And then there's actually the third part, and this is, sometimes people consider these as hijackers, but you have those all the time. We have customers who they buy the product, and for one reason or another they don't want to return it, and they choose to sell it. And I don't consider them hijackers. They're doing what is legally their right to do. And what happens is, and people sometimes forget about this, Amazon calculates your sales velocity by the ASIN. So how many people have bought that ASIN regardless of the seller? So if I sell the product to customer Joe, and he buys it one day, and then he decides he doesn't like it, or because he got it at a cheap discount, and he wants to sell it 2 days later, I'm actually getting credit for both of those sales. My product just got 2 sales within a week or two, whenever it happened, and that's going to help increase my sales velocity. So 1 sale, I got credit for 2 for that ASIN, because that's how Amazon looks at it. So my personal opinion is, I'm not really worried about the average person reselling on Amazon, because it's just going to help give me an additional sale that I'm not going to pay for.
Yeah, and I'll just add 2 cents onto that one. What's better, selling the product and maybe having a few people sell it, 1 or 2 on eBay, and you now have the top ranking on Amazon. You've got to weigh your risks and everything, but I don't even think about that, to be honest with you. I put my discounts when I do promotions, and I'm just moving forward realizing that there is going to be a small percentage of people that do that, but I don't get hung up on that. All right, next question. When you create a 75% off coupon, does Amazon charge you their fee based on the full price or your coupon amount?
That's an easy one. It's off the actual price the customer pays, so it's off of that discounted 75% off. So there's 2 parts to the Amazon's fees. There's the referral fee, as they call it, excuse me, and usually it's between 12 and 15%. It's almost 15% in every category now. So it'll be 15% off of the 75% off. So it's not off the regular price. So you actually pay Amazon less when someone uses that coupon, so you don't lose all that money. The only other fee that doesn't change is Amazon's FBA fees. Their pick and pack, their weight handling fee. Those fees are constant. Usually it's anywhere from $2 to $6 for every product. That never changes for anything. But hope that answers the question.
Yep, that sure does. Is there any reason why we can't use this same technique to point traffic to our Shopify store, presuming we handle the coupon code creation on our Shopify platform?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I had toyed around with mentioning that in here. You can definitely do that. The only thing I would suggest is that maybe don't go so deep in your discounts, because as far as I know, giving a deeply discounted product on Shopify really isn't going to increase any kind of search rankings. They're already there, and that's one of the reasons to do this. However, I think it's a great idea to set up some good, consistent offers on Facebook and send them straight to your Shopify. If you do that, be sure to have retargeting set up, because retargeting is a great way to get customers to come back and buy your product if they don't decide to on your Shopify site.
Very cool. Are there any text limits on the graphics?
Oh, okay. It's a great question. So Facebook used to have a 20% text rule on all the graphics for paid promotions. They no longer have that rule. Instead, it's a guideline. And what you will find is that if you have more than 20% of your graphic taken up by text, they may throttle your ad, and they won't show it to as many people. So they don't stop it completely, but they show it to less people. What I have found, however, so lately when they changed that rule, and I don't know when that was changed, I think it was back in the fall, it doesn't really matter anymore. That if your ad looks really good and it's engaging, they may give you a warning. You may see it, not a bad warning like an Amazon warning. They may give you a warning when you create your image and say, hey, warning, we think there's more than 20% text. We may not show it to as many people as you'd like. You may want to consider that. You might see that warning. But once your ad starts running, and if people get engaged with it and they start interacting, and the interaction rate goes up and the clicks go up, they're going to just start showing it more and more anyway. Like I don't really worry about it as much. Just don't overdo it. Be smart. You don't have to live within that 20% rule anymore. If you're not getting enough impressions, then that might be a sign you need to lower the text a little.
Yeah, I mean, I still check with the text overlay. There's a tool that they have. I think it's just facebook.com/ad. Just type in text overlay and you can test those, because I do find that it's better to kind of test it and maybe start with the best benefit of trying with only the 20%. Myself, that's worked better anyway, but yeah. So next question here. Have you seen an increase in sales from getting to your number 2 position?
Yeah, we have. We literally had no sales on it before, so we're seeing sales come in now. Now, I haven't checked them today, but yes, we do see sales. We still need to get some more reviews on that particular product. That'll help increase them. But yeah, we definitely have. And on the other product, the one that is ranking now, I think number 11 on page 1. We've seen a marked increase in sales in that one too. So sometimes it's not even, you don't even have to be at the very top of the rankings. Just being on page 1, depending on how competitive that term is, you will see increases. So the answer is yes, we have. Sorry, I kind of rambled on a little bit.
What is the URL to create the image that you mentioned?
What is the URL to create the image? I don't remember that question. What?
Did you? And I don't remember it either. Nikki's asking. She said, "What is the URL to create the image Mike just mentioned?" So I'm assuming, and because I was kind of doing it at the same time as you were teaching, I didn't remember seeing it, so I couldn't answer that one. We'll come back to that one, and because actually I'm not sure of it either. So Paul's asking, what about using our Amazon Marketing Services store that we create? Does that work as good or better than a storefront URL?
That's a good question. I have not tested that, and my gut tells me no. I don't really see. Look, I'm thinking about the URL. So I know we have an Amazon Marketing Services storefront, our brand page is what they're called. When you search in there, when I look at that link that gets created, then it doesn't carry over the search terms. So you do a search, then you click on the product, and then you look at the product. I no longer see those search terms in the URL get carried over, so that tells me that's not going to help if the customer then clicks through and buys the product. So that's why I've only used the storefront search URL.
All right, cool. Just 1 second here, please. Sorry. If we give samples with 100% free codes for cheap product and use this method, will it also boost sales for our keyword? I am of the belief that the bigger your discount, the less boost you get, and I would not recommend doing 100%. Well, for one, you can't do 100%. The maximum coupon discount you can create inside of Seller Central is 99%. It doesn't work to do 100% anymore, so you can't do that. But honestly, I don't think you'll get as much benefit by doing a 99% off offer as you would. Even just getting $1 or $2 for your product is much better, and we are seeing results from just getting $1 or $2 for the product. What is the difference with this and a giveaway?
Oh, okay. A giveaway is something, I don't know if you guys seen the webinar I did with Jason a few weeks ago. A giveaway is something hosted by Amazon where you actually, it's available on almost every FBA product out there. You go to the product detail page, you scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see something called Set Up an Amazon Giveaway. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to buy any product on Amazon, yours or someone else's, and then create a contest where people have to complete an action, like follow you on Twitter, tweet something you want them to, watch a YouTube video. They have to do one of those things in order to get a chance to win that product. And then if they win that product, then they get it sent to them free of shipping, everything. It's a completely different service. It doesn't work. It doesn't target a specific keyword either, but it does help increase your BSR. And it does help increase some your search rankings for keywords too. So like Jason said earlier, and I've talked to several people about this when putting together a plan, I would include several different things in your marketing plan. You know, doing these offers for your products. I would throw in a few giveaways now and then just to kind of increase, not only just increase the sales in your product, increase your brand, maybe do some emails, maybe do some other kind like AMS, sponsored ads, maybe some Google. Mix in things, and so I would include giveaways periodically, maybe every couple of weeks on each product as another part of your marketing strategy.
Okay. We've got like 99 responses so far, so it was getpaint.net. So
oh yes, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Fernando, and everyone else that said that. So very cool. Something I wanted to add in here too, because I see this question popping up a lot, and I know, you know, just because of the way people get communicated to, different people have different opinions and hear different things. So remember, people, giving a steep discount does not get you in trouble with Amazon. You can give 100% discounts, 75% discounts, 10% discounts. You can do all those kind of things. The whole thing was 6 months, 8 months ago, Amazon started cracking down on incentivized reviews. That simply means asking for the review in exchange for giving them a discount. It's completely different. I'm constantly selling my products at high discounts. We just put no communications about a review. The only things that we add, in fact, we don't even ask for reviews anymore. We use our inserts to get emails, and we allow Amazon. That's personally how we've been doing it for ourselves, and it's working very well. But with that said, so the person that asked this, it was Jill. No, putting a high discount using a system like this will not hurt you in any way, as long as you're not putting in the ad or anything like that saying get a review, you know, give us a review and get this discount. If you're just selling the product, you're 100% okay, I promise you. All right, so next question. Is it possible to do this with your Amazon affiliate ID as well?
Oh, that's a great question. So the official response that I got from Amazon, because I asked them about this, because I was thinking the exact same thing. The official response was no. And the reason is one of the terms and conditions with being an Amazon associate is that you cannot provide any type of coupon or incentive for people buying your product, and you cannot use paid advertising in order to use your affiliate link, and this is paid advertising when you create the offer. And I would just imagine, even if you could kind of like justify in your own mind, well, I'm not going to run the ad, but I will use that offer that was created and just try to promote that some other way. If Amazon Associates program sees that, for me chatting with the Amazon Associates account, they would frown upon it, probably look at your account, and you would risk getting your Associates account shut down. So I would not do it.
Very cool. Does it work with bundles with 2 or more products and keywords?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, if you're talking about, you know, yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't like single-use search terms. I like multiple keyword search terms. I mean, the minimum one that I would target would be, you know, a 2 keyword search term, as a matter of fact. I'm assuming you're talking about using, you know, several different keywords in there. So maybe what they're talking about is like if it was CrossFit rings resistance bands, like all 4 of there is in there to try to like boost the ranking for all of those. I think Amazon's going to see through that. I think the most important thing is make the search term look natural, because that's what people are going to be looking for, and don't try to double dip and try to get boosting for 2 separate search terms all at one time. Just focus on the one you're really shooting for with that offer.
Yeah, I agree. Don't dilute it. Like, find out where your biggest opportunities are and just focus on those. I wouldn't be doing that myself. But anyway, how often are you creating lookalike audiences? Does it really need to be repeated if you've done it once already?
You know, here's one of those times I'm going to tell you that I have absolutely no idea. What we do is we download our customers about every month and then recreate the lookalike audience just to make sure we have, well, primarily because we're also launching more products. So I want to make sure that as we sell more products, get more people buying them, that I include lookalike audiences for those new ones. I do think that it does help to do it periodically. For us, it seems to be about every time we launch a new product, which is about every month. So that's when I would do it.
Cool. How do you see how many coupon codes were used for the day so that we pause the ad for the rest of the day?
All right, so two answers to that question. Inside of the Facebook Ads Manager, it's going to tell you how many offers were claimed, but I know that's not the question you're asking. That's just going to tell you how many people actually clicked on it and got the offer. The real question is how many people used the coupons. Right now, I've been using a tool called Hello Profit, and again, I'm not selling any tools out there, but that tool is one of them. And I think Managed by Stats does it also. I like different tools, different things. That tool is actually able to see real-time sales as they come in and which ones are coming in at a promotion and which ones aren't. So that's how I tell. It's usually up to date within like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So that's the way I'd suggest it. Other than that, I wouldn't know how you would do it other than trying to find some other tool that would do that as well as Hello Profit does.
So I'm seeing tons of questions that are very much related, like, oh, 75% off seems too much. What's the least amount of percentage? So I guess I'm going to try to answer this for Mike in one foul swoop. So first of all, it depends on what you're trying to do. And remember, the higher the percentage, the more likely the people are going to take action. There's no way we could absolutely answer this for any of you because every product is going to be different and it's going to depend on how good your product is as well too. But if you put 75% versus an offer of 20%, the 75% is bound to do better. But it depends on what you want. So you're going to have to test this. There's no way. I mean, people say, what is the minimum? I mean, I wouldn't bother going through this effort unless it was at least 25% I was taking off. But even 25%, is that enough for people to really want to test it, you know, to try your product? You're going to have to test that. So there's no minimum or maximum. You want to test this, but just understand that the higher the discount, the more people are going to want. But as Mike said, which I fully agree with, you get a better reward from Amazon's algorithm if you're actually making money off the product. So if you're given a 100% discount, I've actually seen, and I was surprised Mike said that they're still seeing results with using this. I'm thinking like, can you actually capture these email addresses? Well, sure you can. If you send them to a page that then offers them another discount, say, go here to get this product, or, click here to do this. I don't, I guess I'm almost hesitant in sharing that with you because I don't want people getting sidetracked. Remember, focus on learning this strategy first, see how it works, and then kind of experiment with it. But I know the wheels in my head are turning like crazy right now going through this. So.
Jason, I can't emphasize what you just said enough. The entire reason that I've been able to find all the ways to make lightning deals work the way they do, to find all the unique, crafty ways to use Amazon giveaways, to find all the different ins and outs of these Facebook offers, is because I just keep testing and trying out different things and seeing what works. I don't always just follow blindly. I do the first time to make sure I know what I'm doing, and then I'm exactly like what you said. Try out some different things and see what works for you. Because you know what? I guarantee a lot of people are going to go out there and create the exact same ad copy that I showed today, but I highly suggest you go out there, like Jason said, make it your own. Follow the strategy, but make your ads your own and test out a couple different ones to see what works better. You may find that I'm certain there'll be people on this call that are going to start getting better results than I've been getting because they've made it their own.
And I just want to let you know, Mike, I got the email and everything from my own offer that I set up, so your instructions worked flawlessly for me, and I even like the little image I created, so good job. Okay, have you tested doing this with video ads?
Oh, so I have to be honest. I would love to say yes. I have not done it yet, but one of the people that I shared this with has used video ads and said they're getting even cheaper cost per clicks because video is so engaging. And if you look on that screen, I don't want to go back right now, but if you look on the offer creation screen where it has a single image or multiple images, then carousel of images, there's an option for video. And if you have a 30-second really cool video, I can think of one right now for Fury Fitness. If that Matt and I have already seen, that would look great in one of these ads. So haven't tested it. Please go test it, and please email me and tell me how well it works because I think it's going to work great.
Cool. So Tom's asking, if you have multiple products, in our case in skincare, would you create an offer ad for each product or the whole line?
Well, that's a good one. I think the answer is going to be what Jason said before. I think you got to test them both out and see which one works. I'll share this. Last summer, we launched 7 products all at once, and a part of our Blitz strategy is we had coupons that allowed people to get every product, so they could get, they pick through 1 through 7. So it was across our entire line. It's a whole new brand, whole new business we create, whole new brand. And one of the benefits of doing that is we got the frequently bought together like crazy. So there's a huge benefit if you want to do that. I can't give you an answer, yes or no. I think you got to test it out and try it.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that, and I guess I could see the benefit to doing that. So instead of just focusing on one product, you're giving a discount saying for any product in our line, and you can buy multiple products and get the discount together. I guess it really depends on, again, what your end goal is, because if you're trying to, that wouldn't work as effectively for trying to rank specific products better, because using the example you did where you put in the keyword and then select the brand, that's going to be really effective for getting your keyword rankings. The other one's just going to more or less do velocity of sales and the best bought together. So yeah, I guess it just depends on what your goal is. Do you restart the ad campaign daily for as long as you need to get to page 1?
If I find that I'm not, well, let me think about this. I'm not going to, I can't say that 100% of the time that I do that. What I'll usually do if I haven't got to page 1 is I'm going to create a new campaign and mix things up. I might want to start targeting some other keywords, but it takes me, if I'm not up there for, within a few weeks or maybe even a month for a really hard one, I'll start mixing it up. One of the things that I also want to keep in mind is mix up your URL sometimes. So this should not be the only traffic you're getting to your product. You should get traffic from sponsored ads. You get traffic from AMS if we have them. You might want to get traffic straight to your ASIN through other manners also. I don't want to distract everyone, but my point is if I'm not getting results I want after a little bit of time, my first thought is to start mixing things up, not just to keep running the same thing over and over and over again.
Cool. If you have 200 coupons and you decide in the middle of the campaign to increase to 300, is that a simple update?
No, you can't do that as a matter of fact. You have to create a new offer. That's the one thing weird about these offers. You cannot make changes to the offers as far as start date, or I'm sorry, end date, end time, percentage off, number of coupons. The only thing you can change on them, I think, is just like the add text, that description in there. But nothing else you can change. So no, it's not.
For testing a new product, what is the lowest inventory quantity that you would suggest to run this launch procedure?
Wow. It depends. I mean, it depends on how many units, the number one seller in your niche sells every day. If it's a product that's only selling, 30 or 40 a day, then it doesn't need to be as high as one that's, going up with people selling hundreds a day.
How would you determine that?
I'll tell you what I would do. So I actually had a bullet point I took out of here. I use a tool called Jungle Scout. There are a couple other ones out there. It's one that I use. Anytime I'm looking to rank a product, I do a search for what I think is the main keyword for that product, and I pull up the top search results. And then I use Jungle Scout, which is a little Chrome tool addition. You have to pay for the service also, but I think it's pretty reasonable. You can check it out. And it's going to tell me an estimated volume that each one of those products is doing every single month. So you got to divide that number by 30 to get their daily volume, and that's going to tell me, for the first 16 products on that page, what's the average I need to sell every day in order to get to page one. And that's the number I would use. I would try to get somewhere within the middle of page one. You don't got to go for the first position. I never do. I think that's kind of silly. Those people are giving stuff away. I always try to get to around the middle of page one. So whatever the average is on that page, that's what I would, I'm sorry, the average they're selling every day for page one, that's what I would target giving away for 4 to 7 days. And then add those up and see if you have at least enough inventory to carry on after that in order to get another batch of inventory in.
Daniel Vaudrin just says, holy crap, Mike, my brain is on fire. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Awesome.
Will Facebook display the offer to a customer who has already seen and or redeemed the offer?
No, they will not. They will not see that ad again if they've already clicked on it and redeemed it. However, here's gosh, I always answer questions with a however. The answer is no, they won't. If you create another offer, though, even if for the same product, Facebook doesn't know that. Remember, there's no direct link between Facebook and Amazon, so if you create another offer for the same product with more coupon codes, they may show that again to the same customer. As a matter of fact, it might be even likely because that customer reacted pretty well to your ad before, and if this is a similar ad, they might show it to him again. So, hope that answers your question. No, but new offers, they may see again.
Cool. If you're so I just scrolled down for being fun, and I'm seeing like about 3 to 4 new questions a minute. So I just want to make sure everyone understands. So we're answering questions directly to this training. So if you're asking questions like how do you get reviews, what about liability insurance, stuff like that, that has nothing to do with this training. So we want to focus. This isn't just a general Amazon training workshop. This is about showing you this strategy and then focusing just on those questions. So a lot of these questions that are not topic related to this training at all won't get answered. I'm sorry. If your product has less than 5 stars, say 4.2 stars, do you still use a 5-star graphic?
Yeah, I have. I mean,
what?
I'm sorry. That golden halo that some people think that I never try to do anything. I'm not specifically saying how many reviews are on that page. I'm just saying, in my mind, it's a 5-star product. I wouldn't sell a product if I didn't feel like it was a 5-star product. I'm not saying I have 400 5-star reviews. I'm just saying it's a 5-star product.
Fair enough. How do you schedule Facebook offers for, let's say, 5 keywords? If you want, so let's assume Magda here is talking about you have one product and you want to increase for 5 keywords. Would you do that?
Well, you'd have to create 5 different offers targeting 5 different keywords. That'd be the easiest way to do it. It's not simple. Like, this is a very straightforward process, like Jason just set it up while we're on the call, but if you want to do things more complex, it's tedious. You just got to make sure you plan it out, go through every step we talked about, think about the keywords you want to target, create the URL, the offers for each one, and then set up separate campaigns for each one of those keywords. You could run them at the same time, absolutely, As a matter of fact, I think there would be like a pretty decent amount of benefit doing that, because that's going to look even more natural to Amazon, that people are searching for your product using different search terms. But there's no easy way. There's no automated way to do it. You have to set that up manually.
Cool. If you target a long tail keyword phrase and get some great success, do you also see positive movement in a shorter tail version of this phrase?
Yeah, I do. And the opposite's true also. If I target, a medium tail one, I see movement among a lot of different keywords. So yeah, there's definitely codependencies among all the keywords that are relevant among each other.
So this was a good point, because a lot of people here are first time hearing from us and aren't really familiar with what Amazing is. Can you explain what a blitz campaign is?
Yeah. So a traffic blitz, or a sales and traffic blitz, as I like to call it, it's a process of launching or relaunching a product on Amazon and trying to get a high velocity of sales combined with a diversity of traffic for your product. So let's say over a 4 to 5 day period, that's typically the shortest time you want to do it, you would use a certain methodology similar to what Jason and I were talking about earlier. You want to look at how many sales your competitors are selling on average every day, and you want to target that same amount. So if on average the people on page 1 for your keyword, or your primary keyword, are making 30 sales a day, or let's say 10 sales a day, because they're not always making that many, you want to target selling 10 units a day of your product for 5 days in a row. And you do that while at the same time you're getting traffic from, let's say, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, sponsored ads inside of Seller Central, and then maybe even YouTube. Just a teeny, I want to make sure everyone hears this, a teeny tiny bit of traffic from those outside sources, because in general, outside traffic doesn't convert nearly as well to Amazon. So you just want to have a little bit of traffic, and that seems to spike something inside of Amazon's algorithm. They love getting external traffic, because to them, that's new traffic from new customers that are already on Amazon. So it's a little bit of traffic from outside sources with a steady flow of sales every day, and you do that by giving customers deep discounts every day. The only difference is with traffic blitz, not the only difference, one big difference is you're not targeting any specific keyword like we're doing here. A traffic blitz just targets sales volume, and based upon how well your product is optimized for those keywords, it will naturally move up for those keywords. This is like a laser targeted way to target specific keywords. If you want to learn more, and then we're not selling anything, I do have a course called Amazon Traffic Blitz. You can actually check it out on amazing.com.
Cool. And yeah, so people keep, well, actually, hang on a second. I'm going to answer this question because I like it. It's from Rebecca because it relates directly to me. Because you have variations, I realize too, Mike, but this person asks, any particular instructions for variations, if all variations fit the keyword, any way to narrow it down? So again, using the example I did where you use your search term report, find out which terms are getting you the most amount of sales and start looking. So for example, one of my products is different color variations. So I took the top 20 keywords are getting the most sales. Then I went through and I found out where I was ranking. So with the different variations I have one variation that's getting about 80% of the sales. Well, maybe 70%. The other one maybe 20% and 10%. The color is a big thing. We're testing different colors. But what I found is that for each keyword, the better ranking product would vary between the variations. Now, 80% of them were the one, but some of the other ones were the other ones. So I would look to see what product is already ranking for that keyword, and I would only focus on that variation when doing this strategy. Because you don't want to be confusing what's already kind of happening. So if Amazon is already giving you good rankings for something, even if it's like page 3, but you're already ranking for it, don't try to force another product in there. Try to just get that one product, that one variation ranking better. Did that make sense how I explained that, Mike?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I haven't really thought about it as clearly as that before, but you're right. Why slow Amazon down when they're already doing something really good for a particular variation?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't, okay, I've got this one ranked, let's try to get another one ranked in there too, but start with the easiest barrier to entry and go that way. Okay, so, sorry if this is a repeat question. I don't think it is, though. Why is that storefront link so powerful? What other links are just as powerful that we can use as well?
Well, I don't think there are any other links that are just as powerful. That's why I'm using it. Well, what I do like about it is that It is the easiest and most natural way that I can think of to help target a specific keyword without looking anything black or gray hat. So it used to be 1, 2, 3 years ago that something called a super URL. When you search for a product using keywords, you clicked on your product and it came up. That URL at the very top would have all kinds of information in it, including the keywords you looked for, where it was ranked, and even a little QID field, which is a timer. That URL used to work great for helping to rank products for that certain keyword, but it wasn't natural because people kept using that exact same URL in their ads, and Amazon got onto that, and that it just didn't feel right. This one, I just feel like this one works really well. We're sending people to a storefront. They're picking the product they want instead of me giving them the direct link to the product, and it just works. I don't know. The only thing that would be more powerful in my mind would be if you actually had a customer go out there and you told them, search on Amazon for my product using this keyword until you find it, then click on it and buy it. But in a real world, that never happens, and I don't like telling my customers what to do. So that's why it works. It's simple and it's very effective.
When we're talking about this URL, you're talking about just the strategy of searching for the keyword and then clicking on the brand, right?
Correct.
So in the side, so when you go to Amazon, let's say silicone spatula. Then if your company is abc.com, you would look on the side once you type that in, and you should see results of what the different brands are. Then you'd click OK, so ABC spatula. So what's going to happen now is it's only going to show you products under that brand for that keyword. And then so what happens is you copy the URL Amazon gives you there. Then what happens when people go to that and then they click on the product, it mimics that they actually did a search for it.
Yeah, Jason, actually, I don't do it quite that way. Instead of brand, I go to your seller ID, your seller storefront instead, which is different.
Why do you do it that way versus brand?
Because with the brand, I see that QID gets carried over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, it depends on whether or not you're brand registered and whether or not you have an AMS storefront. So, for example, people who have an AMS brand page, that won't work as well because as soon as you click on the brand, that goes to their AMS brand page, and then you can't get the same search ranking boost out of that. So now, don't get me wrong, I've heard of people using brand and still having some similar results. I've just used this one because this works for every person every time, and it's much more consistent.
Interesting. Okay, so that might actually be what Janaea is asking about right now in one of her questions. So hopefully, Janaea, that answered your question. All right, so to confirm, if you share the exact Facebook URL offer link, then you will not get charged for this click?
So now, I haven't asked Facebook this, but that's what I've seen happening, that you don't get charged for that click that happens outside of their ad system. That may change at some time in the future, but from what I've seen right now, I have not seen that happening.
Do you use retargeting with this at all?
No, I don't, because I'm not taking them anywhere off of Facebook yet. So they're only staying on Facebook and going straight to Amazon. So right now, Amazon's doing the retargeting. As a matter of fact, Rich and I had a conversation about this last week, and we've just been so busy with getting ready for ASM and getting ready for the next mastermind and putting this together that we haven't tested it out. But if there's a way to build an audience of people who are clicking on this product and then come back and retarget them, I think that's going to be incredibly powerful. I just haven't had time to test that out yet, and I don't know if it's quite possible.
Well, what you'd have to do is when they get the coupon code, you'd have to send them to a page that then sends them to Amazon. Because
yeah, for the pixel, you're right.
Yeah, so that would be the only way to do that. A lot of people keep repeating the question, how do you get the email addresses? I just want to remind you, so following the route strategy that Mike's showing you here, you don't get the email address. This is relying on Amazon. So the whole point here is, if you've done this strategy, and I was surprised, we all were surprised that 30% of you don't even use coupons that came on this call. But if you have done the standard coupon code, you might have used a third-party tool where you create a separate page and you have to drive traffic to that page and then rely on the person to opt in to get the coupon code and then hope that a high percentage of those people that opt in actually use the coupon code. Thankfully, you're getting an email address out of it. So you're building an asset of an email list, which is very powerful, plus promoting your product. But the one thing that you'll find is that you won't get, and it varies all the time. I don't even want to give a percentage, but you're not going to get 100% use of the coupon code, first of all. But it's also the conversion rate is quite lower. With a strategy like this, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate of people taking the coupon code and actually using it, because it's going to be very fast and punchy and get to the point. So they're totally different kind of strategies. If you really sound that you need to, you only want to do strategies where you collect the email addresses, you got to think about, well, why do you need to do that? There's different reasons for using different kind of strategies. So I just want to remind you, though, with this strategy alone, Facebook will not give you the email address.
Yep.
How do you limit the number of codes for each day?
So that's you have a couple ways you can do that. So in general, you cannot say that this offer with, let's say, 200 codes has to be spread out over 7 days. You can make the length and duration of that 7 days, but you cannot make that offer specifically only hand them out certain days. Instead, inside of Facebook, when you're setting up that ad, you have the ability, by that bonus that I mentioned, the rule, if you click on that campaign that we just set up and you say add a rule, you'll see where it can actually look at your campaign, see how many offers have been redeemed, and then stop that campaign for you after that many have gotten redeemed.
So if you have 100 in there and you want to run it over 5 days, you could tell it once 20 to stop it, just
Absolutely.
in case. Yeah. Okay. I see.
Now what I've had to do is I had to go. You have to start it the next day to make it do it again. But that rule does work. And another thing. There's actually two more important things I want to mention. One is even using this methodology, not everyone's going to use your offer. Like you're never going to get 100%. I would say count on about 50% of the people who get your coupon here will use that coupon. That's going to vary depending on the value of your product. It just by nature, when people see something, they want the coupon, they want to feel like they're getting something, and you always have people who want the coupon and then end up not using it for one reason or another. But what you do get out of this, it's a much higher percentage. Like I've never come even close to 50% on a traffic blitz not using Facebook like this, and you get these clicks and these coupon deliveries for much, much cheaper. Remember, we're using Facebook to send people to an offer inside of Facebook. Facebook gives you much cheaper clicks when you do that. When they're done and Facebook gets their money, then they send them to Amazon. But at that point, your internal with Facebook, the clicks are probably 30-40% the cost of what you're going to pay for sending someone to your own web page.
I'm glad you mentioned that you only get about a 50% conversion on your coupon code use. I didn't want to say anything just in case you were getting higher. But yeah, I mean, I don't even think I was getting 50% on any of my opt-in pages for the the amount of people that actually use the coupon codes. That's why you definitely, and one thing important, like you noticed in the ad copy that Mike used, you definitely want to put urgency in it, because if people think like, oh, I have a whole week to use this, no rush, I'll save it for later, you want them thinking that like if they don't act now, they lose it. So just be careful with how you're, yep.
And can I add in one more thing too that I actually meant to include as a bullet point? One thing you'll want to make sure you do, if you've never done this before, is start paying attention to your Facebook page, because you will get people who get confused and the coupon will have expired and they may message you and say, hey, this coupon doesn't work, why is it not expiring? And you can look and see, well, hey, the offer ended a week ago. So just pay attention to those things and make sure that you're checking your messages. Don't worry though, it's not like you're going to get barraged with messages. We've been running this for the past several weeks on multiple products. We've given out coupons, maybe close to 1,000 over all the products. We've probably got half a dozen questions. The point is, just keep an eye on your messages, because I used to never check them, but now I am, just to make sure that these people are getting taken care of. And you have people like that, we take care of them. We give them another coupon code, or we give them a link to an offer that is now active so they can go out there and get it instead.
So compare using a strategy like this to using other tools that allow you to do a giveaway. Why would you use this over other strategies?
Well, I mean, it's all about, for one, you have to think about how much faith you have in that other tool. I know there are other services out there that they do a good job. I'm not going to name any of them. They're expensive, but they do a good job for what you want. You just have to make sure you have faith in those services. However, I like having control, and I like having to build my own processes so I know what's going on. I can repeat these things myself. I want to know what's working, and I want to have control over what keywords I target, what money I'm spending. I don't know. It just, maybe I'm a control freak. No, there's no maybe about it. I am a control freak. But I like setting this up, and then my goal is to train more people inside my company to do this for me. And I think that if you do this, you very easily, not easily, but once it's set up and you work through the processes on here, you'll be able to have a repeatable process in place that either you or someone else that you train can run continually for your own company. And I think that's something that's very powerful to have that kind of marketing knowledge inside your own company. I know Matt and I are talking about that right now, about building processes for his furry fitness. I just think that it's always better to do that, because who knows? Another service may not be as effective as it used to be. They may raise their prices. They may go out of business. And then what are you going to do for launching? I always think it's better if you are able to, and if you're confident, and I think after this presentation everyone should be, it's better to be able to know that you can do this repeatedly for your own business.
Yeah, and I don't think, I mean, the reason that question wasn't even flagged, and I'm trying to think who that was from right here, and it's because it's right on top of this other flagged question right here. Yeah, from Najib asked that question. And I just thought it was a very honest question, which I think is cool. So for me, I like having a diverse portfolio of strategies. It's like saying, well, why would you do this if you can just do lightning deals? Or why do this if you can just use this other service? First of all, you don't want to ever get stuck just with one way to do things. You want to be able to diversify and try different things. And using other services, usually there's setup time, and you can't guarantee and control results with them. I use third-party services, plus I do my own things. The problem is I'm very particular about what kind of services I use, because if I'm not 100% sure that they're above board, I don't want to risk my business with them. So I would 100% prefer to be able to do everything on my own. So I would just absorb these kind of strategies into your own business. In a very competitive market, can I increase the price of my product and run this type of promotion so I get better rankings and also make a better margin on my product at the same time?
Yes. I mean, the short answer is yes. That's what the whole process is designed to do. Again, when you say very competitive, I'm not exactly sure what that means. But the one thing to keep in mind is that any strategy like this, it's going to be you can't control the other people around you. So if you have competitors that are literally selling hundreds or thousands a day, this will absolutely give you another tool in your arsenal. And like Jason said, never rely on one. It'll give you another tool to help push you up in the rankings. And if you get to page 1 or even 2, if you're talking about a really competitive market, and you have everything else on your product is good, the images, the graphics, you're really well optimized, you have some decent reviews, you absolutely should be able to charge a premium price for your product. Now again, I mean, I can't just like blanket say that. Your product has to be worth that. In the end, when the people buy it, no matter how high you get up in the rankings, when the people buy it, they have to feel like they got a good value for your product in order for that to sustain and for you to keep the sales velocity and keep the rankings.
Cool. So we're at over the 2-hour mark here, the extra half hour. Mike, I'm going to keep you for about 10 more minutes. There's a couple more questions, but I also want to do something. And so I just scrolled down again, and I'm still seeing like a few questions a minute. We're not going to be answering many more questions, guys. I'm sorry. A lot of them seem to be more, I think, will be answered when people actually implement this. And so I want to ask that, because I see, again, I think it was Daniel that said it. Here we go, promotion done. Have any of you, I'd love to know, put a comment in here, if any of you have already followed along and created this strategy. Well, Mike, yep, done. So Ty's done it. Dami's done it. Almost complete. Janae's done it. Tim's done it. David Hines, Craig Pullman working on it. Minta, Andrew. I did it a week back. Oh, Bruce is working on it. Okay, very cool, Bobby. So a lot of people are. So that's cool. I just, because that's the important thing to be doing here. Like, it's one thing to be asking questions, which totally cool. Like, I'm not trying to shoot anything down. Ask as many questions as you need. I just want to make sure that you implement it. There's nothing risky about this offer. Just test it and try it, and I promise you, once you go through it, it'll get easier. If you've never done Facebook campaigns before, you'll learn it and you'll become better at it as you do them. So one question here is, how do you get the coupon codes? First of all, in this training Mike showed you, you can even just go to YouTube and say, how do you create one-time use coupon codes on Amazon? You'll be able to find it. That's what you're doing. You're just creating the single-use coupon codes that are available from Amazon. Then when you go in there, you can click get codes, and you'll be able to download a CSV file. It's very, very easy. So I'm just going to double check real quick here. So we've got tons and tons of feedback. That's great. So while I'm looking, I'm going to take 3 more questions here that are already flagged. One other thing, Rebecca says, Facebook scares the heck out of me and I can't wait to try this. So that's great. Very well presented. Love Mike M. So Rebecca, very cool. And Dan, actually answer this one, because you did mention this, Mike, that you just take the details from Amazon and import it to create an audience. How do you get the customer name and all that from Seller Central?
So you can, I believe there's an order detail report you can download. I haven't done that in a while. I got to be honest, the tool that I've been using, again, is Managed by Stats. Trust me, I don't work for them, I don't do anything. They make it so simple. They have a customer list that you just export, and you can put some criteria in there. What's the date range? Also, do you want people who got stuff for free, or they paid a certain dollar amount? If you download that, it gives you everything in the columns that you need. So if straight from Amazon, I haven't done that in a while. I've become really, really dependent upon like a couple of really good tools that I use. But I know you can get it out of Amazon also. Just probably Google that too, or YouTube it.
Awesome. So one thing I am going to ask everyone, when this call is over, you're going to see a little pop-up window come up that asks 2 simple questions to give us feedback. Obviously we want to be really careful with the content that we provide on extra paid webinars. Obviously we don't want this information going out to the hundreds of thousands masses. We really want to be able to make it so that you guys get stuff really first. And so it'd be really cool if you gave us feedback, let us know, what you liked about this and also what we could do better. You'll also, if you don't have time to do it right away, you'll get an email in about an hour. But I would love to know right now, just your general feedback on the call, just in a comment. Mike shared a lot of things in here, and I'd love to know, like, if you thought this was worthwhile or not. And if you think it's good, give Mike a shout. It's awesome. Mike was, that's awesome. You guys are great. Oh, Lisa did say potty breaks when you go over 2 hours. 10 freaking 10, very good, worth it, amazing, awesome, Mike, Andrew, Peter. Okay, great. So I just wanted to make sure we're on the same wavelength here, because I thought this was awesome. And it's a simple strategy too. It's nothing complicated. A lot of people don't know about it. So I'm just going to ask 3 more questions here, and then we're going to end. My Facebook page has less than 100 likes. Will this ad still work?
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely. I did a test last week off a page that had 0 likes, and it still worked. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. Most people won't even go to your Facebook page. What you will find is you'll get some likes out of this. If you have a good deal and people take your offers, they're going to reward you and come back and like your page.
Very cool. About the ad setup end date, you mentioned to put the ad 8 p.m. Central so that you get reminded by Facebook, but can you run this as an evergreen ad that does not end?
Yeah, you could. Absolutely you could. I have not done that, but there's no reason that you would have to do that. The only thing is, you have to keep this in mind, when you set up your offer, you have to give it an end date. And so I would just put that, I think the best would do is put it like 30 days out, and then you could even, if you want to, then you can make it so it's unlimited coupons. I don't think you have to even put a maximum in there. You still upload the one-time coupons, but the offer does have to have an end date. Normal ads in Facebook don't, but since it's tied to this, you will have to have some type of end date in there. I would make it 30 days. That's my gut. That's what it tells me, is make it 30 days.
Is this method recommended for a brand new product with zero, capitalized zero reviews?
um, to be honest, no, I wouldn't recommend it for zero reviews. I think you'll be surprised, and it will work, and you will start moving up in the ranks. And I have seen products with zero reviews get sales because if you think about it, they don't have anything negative about them. They look like they're a brand new product. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't do it. I always like trying to get a few reviews out there first, but it will work. You just got to think about it. Once you start getting reviews in, are you going to be able to really keep those search rankings that you get? And my gut tells me you need some social proof before you start investing in this.
Very cool. All right, so I think we've done great. I'm just like lots and lots of great feedback, Mike. That's awesome. If we did miss a question, I truly apologize. Seriously, like I'm just, every minute we were getting dozens of questions. Well, I shouldn't say dozens. We were getting, 3 to 6 questions. Mike, fantastic presentation. So just so everyone knows, you will notice in the comment box, and actually I will put it in there one more time for you. So the slides were available. You can download them. Just 1 second, I'm sorry. I'll put that in there again. But then when you get the email, we're going to be sending an email within about 24 hours. We will have an updated PDF for you. So we'll make sure to update all the well, not really anything. I think the only issue that we found was a reminder that the image dimensions that we mentioned, they're 1200 by 623, not the 1600. But we will have this information to you within the next 24 hours. Thanks for being here. Please, please, please put this stuff to work. Again, you can download, I just put it in the chat box where you can download the PDF of these slides. It gives you everything that Mike went through. It gives you the text to put in your ads and everything. Make sure, start with using something similar to what Mike put, but then again, start testing different things. And Mike, actually, one question for you. What are you finding when you're, and obviously, guys, like this is not anything that is guaranteed to be the same for you. It always depends on your audience and everything. But 2 questions for you, Mike. So number 1, why do you say to keep your audience down to about 3 million?
So I like the reason I've done that, and there is actually some thought behind it, and it's mostly experience, what I've seen. When I have my audiences somewhere over 2 million, I seem to be able to get a lot more people taking my offer and getting much cheaper cost per click. Anytime I start getting any smaller, well, it's not even any smaller. You could still get smaller than that. It's just that the 2 million seems to be the sweet spot. And maybe it's tied to the fact that when you create a lookalike audience, it automatically defaults to 2 million. And as soon as I started using those lookalike audiences with 2 million people in it, because that's the default on it, I started noticing my ad cost went down, my cost per click went down, because it's the sample size is big enough for Facebook to start, they start really sending your ad out to a lot of different people in those 2 million, and then they start optimizing it, and it brings down the cost a lot. If you have a really small sample, you're just going to pay more for those ads. They can't optimize it as well. So it all comes down to the fact that that's what they had in their lookalike audiences, and then once I started doing that for other audiences, such as where I would actually hone in on the niche and the fact that they like Amazon, I found that my ad costs came down when it started getting up around 2 million or more.
Okay. And Jeremy gave me an upside down smiley face, and I said, why so sad? He said, no answer to how to implement in Europe. So nobody else is getting my sympathy and pity for the upside down smiley face, but you, Jeremy, you got it. So how do you implement this in Europe? So how would you do it, Mike? So people here that are notselling.com and are in Europe, what would you do?
I'm actually excited to put this really to work in Europe. I mean, you can create Facebook offers anywhere you want. You can target them anywhere you want. So there's literally, there's no different. There's nothing different. You would want to go in, research in the market that you're at, whether it's Germany or UK, and I would probably start one of those two. Research where, what products are selling for, or what the products are doing every day. That tool that I mentioned, Jungle Scout, they have sales data in UK and Germany, and you can get a good estimate of how many units a day products are selling over there. Then I would target trying to give away that many, and then I would create your ad in Facebook, making sure you use the right language. Of course, I know it's a dumb question, but make sure you do, and then just target those countries. I mean, there's literally nothing different about it. You can create the codes inside of Seller Central in Europe just like you can over here, and Facebook doesn't have anything keeping you or stopping you from creating these in Europe any differently. Just make sure that you can localize these and use the correct language.
So, Mike, when you're saying that you don't think this is suitable for a new product with new reviews, all you're meaning is like just make sure you get like, at least like 3 to 10 reviews, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it used to be our benchmark was not benchmark. Our minimum used to be try to get 3 reviews because that's what showed up on the first page. And then as the market kind of got crazy and people went review crazy, then people started thinking they had to get more, like 10 or 20, and try to get the triple digits. Now with Amazon's latest changes, a bunch of people's reviews got kind of taken away because they were for free products, and new products right now are not able to go out there and just pile on the reviews, and I'm so happy for that. And even new sellers should be happy for that too, because you know that reviews that you're getting and competitors are getting are legitimate and authentic reviews. So I would just make sure you have a couple reviews. I think 3 again is the minimum, and that's all you need to do. Just get a couple reviews, try to find some people to buy your product and give you an authentic product feedback, and that's all you need, and then they should come in. But make sure you have a good email follow-up sequence for your normal customers that does what you want. Jason's not asking for reviews anymore. Amazon does it automatically. I reviewed all of our email sequences. We don't really ask reviews hardly at all anymore either. We do on a couple products, but the other ones, we give them value. We email people with FAQs about our products. We email just twice. And then we noticed in those products that we're getting some really good reviews in. So I got sidetracked. But yeah, just get a couple reviews, and then I would give this a try.
Yeah, thanks for adding that. So hang on one sec here. George just gave you a kudos. He said, side note, Mike, your strategy with the cute pic for lightning deals got me crazy amount of clicks using a pic of my dog. Might feel that works here too. So that's a good point. Like, I guess for this strategy, I tend to think you'd want to kind of show the product they're going to be getting. But that's just an assumption, and I've been many, many times wrong on those kind of things, so it definitely would be worthwhile to test. All right, everyone, we're going to be closing off this call. Again, remember in the next 24 hours you'll get the recording, so you'll get the video, you'll get the updated PDF, and all that stuff sent to you. Thanks so much for being here. The majority of you stuck around the whole time. This was a great call. And again, I just ask that if you give us feedback once you're done on the call, it just help us to make sure we know we're doing the right things for you. Mike, I'll let you close this off, and I'll just say again, thanks to everyone. Have a great evening, and hopefully you implement this and get awesome results.
All right, and thanks everyone too. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how honored and privileged I am to be on here. I've never done anything like this before, and I've done a lot of things in front of a lot of different entrepreneurs and Amazon sellers. This is the first of its kind, and those comments that Jason was reading back really touched me. I'm a little choked up from all the comments. I appreciate it. I promise you this will not be the last time I share stuff. So if you like it, definitely give feedback to Amazing. I'm going to get with them. I know I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right, so hopefully I'm going to find some things that I can do better and give you guys even more value later. But thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see as many of you as possible at some place in the near future. Take care.